Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
This is awesome. This is my third time speaking with you.
All right.
I'm feeling very synchronistic right now.
All right.
I wish I had my question, but let me make a statement first.
By all means.
I knew I was going to be here. I hadn't bought my tickets, though, for some reason. And last week I had to call 911 for a health emergency.
Oh, all right. How exciting.
It was exciting. It was very, very exciting. And the most exciting part for me was when I got into the emergency room, they switched me to a hospital gown. I looked down and the entire hospital gown has a pattern of pyramids on it.
Oh, all right.
So thank you for that. I don't know if that was me
what are you
or
thanking me
I know
for?
I created that. Okay. Well, anyway, after seeing that, I said, okay, I'll be there.
Our society does not manufacture hospital gowns.
I did think it was a very interesting, exciting pattern and unusual for a hospital gown because I didn't really see a relationship for anybody else, but for me it was a big connection.
All right, and this is a wonderful demonstration of how synchronicities can work.
Yes.
When you may think that something is going wrong, it may be leading you exactly to the right place.
I agree. So on that note,
Yes.
the issue that I went into the hospital for was an accelerated heart rate, arrhythmia,
Yes.
extra nerves firing, all kinds of things going on with the heart. And apparently it was something I was born with, but it's something that kind of just flares up once in a while. And it really hadn't until this last month.
All right.
So I was wondering if you had any clarity, because I have a few theories and I know that
Well, you're processing new energies.
That's what I thought. Okay. So does that mean...
You're taking yourself to a new level, and therefore your body has to adapt.
So it's like Ascension symptoms.
Yes, it can be.
Okay, does it taper off, or we're always ascending so it gets more and more, or we just get
That
acclimated?
particular experience may not necessarily always need to happen as you get used to the idea of the ascension. As there is less resistance in your body and your neurological structure, it may no longer react that way eventually, because then you can become more superconductive along your neurological net, and there will no longer be as many restrictions or obstacles in the neurology that would cause that kind of jittering to happen in your system.
I feel like a hummingbird a lot.
All right.
So do you have any advice on how I can better acclimate the energies so that I
You
can
know
get
our
off
advice on that.
follow my highest excitement?
Act on your highest excitement to the best that you are able with zero insistence on a particular outcome.
Okay.
That's the whole formula. We understand that many people in your society conveniently forget the third part.
Yeah, and I was going to say that kind of answers my one question about the political race right now. So
Oh, all right.
I won't even... But I will ask this question, even though it's a future-forward question. When you said everything will change,
Yes.
I know that everything is already changing every second.
Of course, but we are focusing on the idea that sometimes changes are backed by the energy of the mass consensus to such a strong degree that it creates a kind of crossroads in your collective energy. And this is what we are sensing coming up in the fall of 2016, where there is an opportunity and a high degree of probability for many different kinds of things in your society to begin to exhibit real change in certain ways. Some of them will be obvious, some of them will not necessarily be obvious at first, but could be traced back to about that time. So it is a nexus point, it is a crossroads point, and you will see what happens.
Would you say that it's connected directly to who becomes president, or would you say...
That's simply one of the side effects.
Okay, that makes sense. Would you say that I heard another channel, I want to say Andronus, mention that we'd be making a big shift into fourth dimension. Some of us would be making a big shift into fourth dimensional reality during that time.
You are already in the fourth dimension. What is meant is that you are shifting into fourth density, which is a different idea.
Okay, yes. So is that related to the big shift, the big change?
Yes.
Okay, so there's going to be...
It's an acceleration point in your ascension through the process of going from third to fourth density. It's a major point. It's a major threshold.
Is there a specific date, or it's just a phase?
The State of the Union.
Yes, I can't wait for it.
Well, you have to.
I do. Well, not really, because it's kind of now. Anyway.
It is now, and if you feel like you can get into the vibratory state where you can access all the information that will be given at that time, by all means, don't let us stop you.
Okay. Thank you. Another question was, I specifically remember, this happened a few times in my life, but I specifically remember driving the car. I was pregnant at the time. Another car comes to sideswipe me. There's a huge cement barrier. I'm on the freeway.
Are you going to ask me if you died?
No, I know I died.
Oh, all right.
I already know that. But my question is, well, I think I might know the answer to this too, but why I came back into my body. Got to finish the story for everybody else because I know you know how it ends.
All right.
But kind of blacked out, came back in my body. I'm on
Yes.
the freeway. There's no cars around me. And that car that was going to sideswipe me was way off. I'm like, how am I totally safe and perfect right now? So I know that I left, my body came back, whatever.
Yes.
But did I do that to prove to myself the quantum physics and everything so I could learn all this? Or why do we choose to just die and come back?
Sometimes people, because of the belief systems they've brought up with, will jolt themselves into a new reality very quickly because they know they can. Therefore, they choose what may seem to be relatively expedient rather than having to go through longer processes.
So for me, I think of it as like a spiritual growth, learning. Oh, cool. Now I know that I can just pop in and out.
Yes. It gives you a different perspective.
That's why it happened. Okay. That makes sense.
One that you wouldn't necessarily have had before that experience. Not that you had to do it that way, but you knew you could, so you took advantage of it.
Okay.
Does that help?
That helps. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. And please drive carefully.
Oh, thank you.
Hello,
And to you, good day.
my name is Stephanie. I have one question for you.
Oh, all right.
Will you explain the synchronicity between past and present lives, and will you go and elaborate on mine?
Well, again, the idea is that all things exist now. What you call the past is just another parallel reality coexisting with you, but at a different frequency so that you no longer perceive it. And coming from a linear space-time perspective, you just look at that or perceive that other coexisting reality as a so-called past because of the way you have been taught to look at things from a space-time perspective. Does that make sense, first of all?
Yes and no.
What is the no part?
So are you trying to tell me that...
I'm not trying to tell you anything. I'm telling you things.
Are you telling me? Are you telling me that I'm essentially just living still through my past life? Is that what you're explaining to me?
What I'm saying is, like the analogy of your television programs, when you are watching a particular television program, you know that at the moment you're watching that program, there are hundreds of other programs playing at the same time, yes?
Correct.
All the other lives are going on at the same time. It's just that you're tuned to this channel now. You follow me?
Okay, yes.
But you still have bleed through connections energetically and informationally from the other lives. So the synchronicities that happen in this life can sometimes be representative of the connections you have to other simultaneous existences of other people living in other time frames, as you call it, who actually do exist at the same time. And you may be drawing on their experiences and their information to help you in this life in the same way they may be drawing on your experiences and your information to help them in their lives. It's like a concurrent, interconnected web of information between all the lives that exist at once throughout creation. But depending on the way you look at this, you might consider them to be in the past or the future, even though they all exist at the same time. So when there is that bleed through, when there is that overlap, when you become more aware of the connections that exist, sometimes you can experience that as synchronicities in your life, or even just inspirations and ideas that you don't know where they came from. You understand?
Yes.
Sometimes they can come from your higher mind, sometimes they can come from your guides, but sometimes they can come from other parallel existences.
So am I drawn to people from this life that I've continued? Am I drawn to people? I know that it seems like you don't like the idea of past life necessarily. It's more
Well,
of a
it's not that we
continuation.
don't like it, it's just inaccurate.
Am I drawn to the same sort of people that I've always been in touch with?
No, not necessarily. It depends on the theme you're exploring. The themes will determine what attracts you.
Okay.
Does that help you?
It does. It helps me very much.
Is that sufficient? Or is
That
there
is
something else?
No, I really enjoyed that.
Oh, all right. So did we.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi there.
And to you, good day.
Oh, it's so exciting to be here.
All right. Speak up and be bold so that all may hear you.
Okay, well, yesterday I flew in an airplane from New York City
Yes.
to here,
Oh, all right.
invited by a very good friend of mine. And 13 has been my quote, quote, lucky number. I just chose that, and it's
Yes.
in my email address. And so today when I got here, I had no idea what question, if any, but I put my name on the list. And as I was sitting there, I thought, which I've heard you say before, is that we know what we need to know when we need to know it.
Yes.
And so one of the things I heard you talk about briefly this morning was a break in continuity.
Yes.
And I wrote that down because I like making ceramic objects
Yes.
with clay.
Yes.
And I just thought, oh boy, wouldn't that be fun to go from X to Z, and rather than go through the process of learning something new and practicing and blah, blah, blah. I would just love to be able to, like you said,
Yes.
see that there has not been a progression and it's not linear, and that I could see that here I'm doing A one day and the next day Y, and then who knows what. So,
Yes. All right. Well, you can do that more and more and more. Again, the more you align with your true vibration, the less necessity you will have to experience certain kinds of continuity. You won't necessarily let go of it all because you're still agreeing to abide by general mass consensus ideas. But you can experience that on a personal level more and more, certainly.
And I either may or may not want to continue along these lines. Have also been wanting to experience clay making with energies that are elsewhere. And
Meaning what?
meaning that I'll tell myself that I'm tuning into some entity, some energy, some
Yes.
wonderfulness who's happy to be there with me working.
So you wish to channel your pottery.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, what's stopping you?
Well, I have started doing that.
Oh, well, all right then.
And it's fun.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so don't have a question on that, obviously.
That's fine.
Just blabbing.
You don't need a question to speak with us.
Good. Oh, thank you. So another thing that I wrote down as I was sitting there was Michael, Joe, and Vicky. Michael's my nephew who murdered Joe, my sister's husband,
Oh, all right.
a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And so Michael's in prison. My sister vacillates between happy and not so happy.
All right.
And Joe, I feel and believe
Is helping from the other side.
He is wonderful. He yes,
Helping both of them.
all of us.
Yes.
And on the theory, which I've heard, every death is a suicide.
Well, in the sense that you all generally know when it's time to go, yes, you're choosing to go. Therefore, on that level, you could say it's a suicide. The idea doesn't in any way, shape, or form excuse the perpetration of a murder. You understand? Because it's that person's duty to be in their own strength enough to not have to do things that are representative of their belief in their lack of self-empowerment. Does that follow? You understand what we're saying?
Not exactly.
People do those kinds of things and perpetrate those kinds of acts on others because they themselves believe that they have no power. When someone is taught to believe that they are powerless, they will strike out in whatever way, shape, or form they can to gain what they think is a representation of power, but that's just a representation of powerlessness when they feel they have to dominate someone else. Do you understand?
Yes.
Therefore, Joe from the other side can begin to help both of them understand what true self-empowerment is. You understand?
I do.
All
I like
right.
that. Thank you.
Yes.
And I also, tying in with the break in continuity and with my nephew, I like the idea of his being able to have a reality that goes from one frame to another wonderful frame.
Yes.
So,
Well, again, by aligning with your true vibration, by acting on your highest excitement, this is what allows you the greatest probability of experiencing exactly the frames that you need. Now, even when you experience something you don't prefer, you've still attracted it, and it's still what you need at that moment, because it's up to you to determine what you can get out of that experience that's beneficial for you. But we understand that the idea of staying in that state that you prefer to stay in is really the whole point. For a while, you're still going to be able, no matter what state you're in on earth, you're still going to be able to perceive circumstances, people, and situations that may be reflective of things you don't prefer. But understand that just because you can observe that doesn't mean that you have to be affected negatively by it. That's your choice at that point. So don't assume that just because you are aligned with yourself that you will no longer at this point see anything come up that's negative. That's not true. It's how you respond to it that makes all the difference, not that you never see it again. Remember, the true measure of change is not whether the outside world changes. The true measure of change is whether you respond differently to it, even if it still looks the same. That's how you prove you've changed. Because if you understand that everything is neutral and every circumstance can serve double duty, positive or negative, and create positive or negative effects in your life, then what need is there for any circumstance to actually look different if you know that your experience of it can be different based on your decision to simply be the state of being that you prefer? So you're no longer making the state of being you're in conditional on what's happening outside of you. Because when you make your state of being conditional on what's happening apparently outside, you haven't changed. And therefore, why should the outside look any different anyway? But when you truly change, because you don't care what the outside looks like, because you know that that doesn't affect your state of being, then you give the outside reflection the greatest opportunity and probability of actually reflecting the change back to you. Not that it has to, but you give it the greatest probability of doing so. Because you don't care whether it does or not.
Very good.
Make sense?
Totally. Thank
Does
you
this
so
help
much.
you?
Yes, and I'm looking forward to
All right.
playing the game.
All right. Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
Good day. I'm very excited to be here. I followed my excitement to be here. And
Oh, all right.
on my way, I experienced amazing synchronicities
Yes,
that have just blown me wide open. It is so beautiful.
it is. Your lives can really function very magically if you allow yourself to go with the flow of your true energy.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so recently I was excited to a book called Meet the Hybrids by Barbara Lamb and Miguel Mendoca, I believe. And
Yes, all right.
reading this book, I experienced some amazing emotional things that I didn't quite understand.
Such as?
I kind of had to put the book down sometimes, and I would just start crying and weeping.
All right, well, very good.
In joy and in beauty, like.
Yes, we understand.
Okay. It brought back a memory right before I conceived my daughter.
Yes.
2.5 years ago. Well, plus the pregnancy. I had a dream.
We understand how it works.
Okay, yes. Is it the same for you and your
It was
civilization?
a long time ago. No
Okay.
longer is it that way. An energy bubble is created for a new life to form in outside of our bodies.
Wow. How do you nurture the children? Do they eat food? Do they breastfeed?
We no longer eat at all. We no longer sleep at all.
Wow. So who takes care of the children?
All of the planet.
All of the planet. It's not women when they're infants? No? Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. So my
You
dream.
keep saying that.
I am wowed.
Oh, all right. That's just where we're at in our evolution at this point.
Yes.
Was that another version of wow?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
So my dream. I
Yes.
met a boy and it was like a welcoming, a coming home, and
Yes.
he hugged me, and I've never seen him in this reality, but
No, he's a hybrid child on the ship. That didn't take you by surprise, did it?
no, I was just wondering if he was my brother or something, but okay.
Brother?
Thank you.
Child.
Thank you. Thank you.
Partially, anyway,
Yes, absolutely.
genetically speaking.
Yes.
And so,
And
you understand that one day the hybrid children will be living among you, yes?
Yes.
All right.
I'm very excited for this.
So are they, but they are learning.
Yes.
Right now, the phase of hybridization is about helping them acclimate to the idea of living on Earth, because there are many things that you all take for granted that are very, very foreign and alien to them. The simplest things don't make sense to them in terms of what your culture does. Okay. Even something as simple as putting food on a plate doesn't make sense to them.
Wow.
Why do you have to put it on a plate? Why not just eat it? Why do you need a fork? Can't you just eat it with your hands? You understand? You are a very foreign society to them.
Yes.
So they are learning.
Okay. Are they playing with me in my house when I see my daughter's toys move and things?
Not always.
Okay.
Sometimes that's other things, but from time to time they may be involved.
Okay.
Some of them are a little bit more mischievous than others. And of course they're learning that from all of you. So.
Can I ask, how many do I have?
That is an open-ended question because it depends upon the amount of genetic material
Yes.
that would make them quote-unquote yours.
Yes. Okay.
If we just deal with the idea that at the very, very least, there is 15% of your genetic material involved, then you could say that as many as 85. But if you're really going to something that is more like 80% of the genetic material, then you're really looking at something more like the idea of 5 to 7.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
This is an average overall.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Does this help you?
Absolutely. I have one more question.
Yes.
I had another dream that came up while reading this book, and it actually happened right before I got the book.
Yes.
A female being came into my room while my daughter was sleeping, and what I perceived as large eyes going up like this,
Yes.
I perceived her as a mantis being.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she was gorgeous, and her energy was pink and yellow and beautiful, and we were connected. Like, it was almost as if our hands were holding, and she had a I perceived what I thought was a pregnant belly. I'm not sure if it was mine or hers.
It was a reflection for you.
Okay.
Wasn't actually hers, but
Okay.
it was a reflection for you, a projection, an idea of connection to the idea of the children and your part that you're playing in that.
Okay, so the hybrid children can have more than one DNA in them, or more
Absolutely,
than two. More than
just
two
as
DNA.
all of you do.
Okay.
You're all mixed up, you know.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Remember that in the original generation of the idea of genetically transforming Homo habilis, Homo erectus into Homo sapien by the Anunnaki, they themselves had a mixture of many different kinds of genetic strains that they passed on to you, all of you. So you have many different kinds of connections in you. Many different kinds of extraterrestrial connections and genetic material that make you a human or Homo sapien. It's one of the reasons why when different people on your planet went into different environments, they changed into what you consider to be different races, even though they're not, just because some of the different genetic traits would come out because of the pressures of that particular environment. You understand?
Yes.
So some of those traits are representative of some of the different extraterrestrial genetic strains that exist within all of you. It's just that some will come out in certain environments and others will come out in other environments. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
And my last question is about implants. This came to me like 2 nights ago. I listened to a message that had to do with how our guides can help us right now,
Yes.
and how we can call an SOS to them if we feel like we need that in the early morning hours.
Yes.
And I didn't quite understand this, but that night I went and I had dreams where I felt kind of paralyzed.
Yes. That's one of the symptoms of being shifted to another dimension.
Okay.
Remember that many of the encounters that many of you have actually happen slightly out of phase with what you consider physical reality to be. It's another kind of physical reality, but it's not quite the same frequency, and therefore, when you begin to experience that shift, a lot of times you will try to move in the same old way in your old reality, but since you're no longer actually fully in it, you can't move because you don't know how to move in the new reality yet. It's a way of freezing you to make sure the dimensional shift happens precisely so you won't go spinning off into some other dimension somewhere else.
So that's why I can't speak while that's happening.
Yes.
Okay. So does that have anything to do with implants? And what
The
are
idea
implants?
of implants is a slightly different technology now than it was at the beginning, even though there may have actually been physiological implants in the beginning of the hybridization program. The idea now is that there are slight alterations in the genetic material in your body that function in the same way, but they are less detectable.
Okay, so it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's just keeping track.
Okay.
And it's also observing and recording. And it's also a communication link.
So there's nothing to really call for help for?
No, not really.
No, okay.
But you always have help. You are always being given help. This is all of you. You are always being given everything you can possibly be given. You don't really need to ask for help. If you want to trigger that idea for yourself, all you're actually doing is coming more into a conscious realization that you already have help. You don't have to ask for it. You just need to pay attention to the help you're already being given more closely. Then you will realize that you're always being helped. You are never not being assisted. You're just not always aware that you are. So asking for help is actually a technique you can use to realize you are being given help. But because you don't feel the connection, typically because of your space-time perspective, you think you have to ask for it as if it's not being given already. It's constant. It never goes away. You just have to become more conscious of the fact that it's already there. You follow me?
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
So the next time you feel like any of you need to ask for assistance in any way, shape, or form, please take that moment to remember that's just your way of suddenly realizing it's already being given to you. And relax into that support because it is there. And if you relax into it, you will feel it and you'll experience it. Yes?
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
Hello, Bashar!
And to you, good day.
I was almost going to whisper. Okay, that was so good. I just love this synchronicity so much.
So do we.
That was my question, actually.
How synchronous of you.
I know. And so I call them quinks. And
Quink.
yeah, it's like a non-coincidental coincidence. You know things are happening.
You are referring to an old-fashioned phrase in your language called a coinky-dink.
I guess so, but
Yes.
I shortened it, yeah.
All right.
Because I love keeping track of them.
Oh, all right.
And I separated them. Events were quinks, and then when you found an object that was quinky, then it was a mool. But anyway, the question I had is, what are they?
What are what?
Well, I love how what are quinks? When
Are they not synchronicities?
Yes.
Well,
But
we
what-
already explained what a synchronicity is.
Right, and you explained it so well, but
Not well enough, obviously.
well, no, I just wanted more. Like, I know we're creating our reality or attracting our reality,
Yes,
or
yes.
we have momentum, or I don't know how that's happening. Maybe that's none of my business, or just let it go. But
That might sometimes be the wisest course because you don't need to get too caught up in how the mechanism works to simply know the mechanism works. When you walk into one of your rooms and you turn on the light switch, do you stop and wonder how the light bulb is actually working, or just go, light, thank you, and now I can get on about my business? Do you understand?
yes.
So it's all right to know how it works, but you don't always need to know in order to just flow with what you're doing. So the idea is to recognize everything is one thing. You understand this, yes?
Yes.
Different expressions of the same one thing occurring in exactly the same place, all at once in the same moment. What you view as different places, what you view from your perspective as different moments, are simply the same place and the same moment from different points of view. So the idea is that since everything is one thing, synchronicity is an experience of the collapsing of the space-time continuum experience down to at least something closer to the single moment, so that you understand that everything is happening here and now all at once, and suddenly exactly what you need that has always been right here, right now, appears before you exactly when you need it, exactly where you needed it. That's how it translates into the space-time matrix. But that's a representation, a symbol of the fact that that information and that experience has always been right here, right now, and now you've just shifted your frequency into a vibrational state that is appropriate for suddenly being able to perceive that information exactly when you needed it. Does that help?
Yes, it does. I like to go on walks, and I think of them as treasure hunts, and sometimes things would happen, and
Yes.
I would be looking like my gang, my invisible gang, is playing with me.
Yes.
And it's so fun.
It is.
So the part that you said about with no insistence on the outcome.
Yes, because you don't really know what it's going to really look like.
Right.
And if you have a symbol of it, that's fine. But you have to understand that the symbol's job is just to get you into the state of excitement about having something like that happen. But sometimes the symbol can actually be limiting and prevent you from experiencing something even better than you were capable of imagining. Right. So that's why you don't need to insist on the particular outcome, because that particular outcome may not be the best outcome for you.
Right, right. And I think I like it so much that I try to recreate it. And once I try, I'm out of it.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why we don't try. We just do.
Exactly. So when you were talking about Cybo,
yes.
I want to become a grandmaster of the slot machine. And
All
so
right.
I was thinking of that because, you know, like how it lines up. And that was another thing. How does law of attraction and synchronicity go together? Because I know I can focus on something like writing.
All right. One moment.
Okay.
In a sense, they are two different sides of the same coin, since you're using the slot machine reference. The idea of the law of attraction is, yes, in a sense, your people are correct when they say, well, you have to be of a certain state to attract something of that state. Yes, fundamentally. But that explanation is skipping over something of fundamental importance. And the fundamental important thing is this.
Oh, boy.
You already have a core frequency that is representative of your pure state. That pure core frequency is already attracting everything that is representative and reflective and symbolic of that pure core state. If it's not manifesting right now, then either it's not the right timing according to your own theme of exploration, but still, for the same mechanical reason, it's being kept at bay. It's not that you're not attracting it, it's that you're keeping it away. So you have to understand, you don't have to learn to do anything to attract what is true for you. You have to learn why you might be keeping what is true for you away with your belief systems. But that's a fundamentally different state of being than thinking you have to learn to get into a vibrational state to attract something. You're already doing it. You don't have to learn it. It's automatic. It's immediate. It's effortless. And therefore, the idea of synchronicity is that the more you allow yourself to divest yourself of the negative belief systems that are out of alignment with who you truly are and let them go, then the more you can experience all the things that are true for you in that now, and they will begin to manifest through the experience of synchronicity happening at exactly the right place, the right time, that is representative of the timing of the changes to when those experiences are appropriate for the person you have now become. Does that make sense?
Yes. And the part about no insistence on the outcome and not trying and the ease of it, all those things. So I get so excited sitting at that slot machine, especially when they start to line up. And then I get so, and I want more.
One moment.
Okay.
Here's a reminder about the idea of acting on your excitement and why it's important to let go of any insistence.
Yeah.
The idea, when we talk about acting on your highest excitement, understand, you act on your highest excitement for its own sake. Not because of what it will get you, not because of where it will take you, not because of anything after that moment. You act on it because that's what you're excited to act on for its own experience. Because you don't know why a thing may excite you. A thing that excites you may not excite you because that thing has to come to fruition. Something may excite you as a lure to get you to move to where you need to be so that the thing you really need to do can more easily be done. That's why you need to drop all your insistence on what needs to happen, because you never really know why a particular thing is actually exciting. That's the communication from your higher mind. Excitement is your physical body's translation of the communication from your higher mind saying, do this now, do this first. This will take you where you need to go. Maybe not where you want to go, but it will take you where you need to go. Do you understand the difference? Mm-hmm. Therefore, excitement is acted on for its own sake, not for anything else and no other reason. And that will just automatically flow you to the next place. And if that needs to come to fruition, then it will in some way, shape, or form, but you have no idea how you're actually going to get there.
So it's not for the money coming out of the machine.
It may not be.
Okay.
It may not be. It might be, but it may not be.
Okay.
It might only be for the purpose of improving your synchronicity. It might be for the purpose of saying something that the person sitting next to you needs to hear from you.
Okay.
You need to broaden your imagination about why things excite you. It's an orchestration. It's not always just about you. You understand?
That's good. That's really good.
All right.
Because sometimes I sit there and I go, okay, so I don't care. I just don't want to care. But then I do. It's really funny. Because,
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hysterical. Watching all of you, as we have often said, is like watching a 7-foot person attempting to stuff themselves into a 1-foot square box.
Oh my God.
You are all quite hysterical.
That's so
And
funny.
you have given us years of entertainment. And so we thank you. Nevertheless, when you really relax any wanting about what you think needs to happen next, you will actually get what you need, and you will see why the thing excited you. You will understand it after the fact, and maybe not even then. And if it doesn't come then, you don't need to know.
Okay.
Just follow the thread of excitement for its own sake. It is leading you along the unerring path of least resistance. Just see what happens. Just see what happens. Because again, if you start to understand that many of the things that you say you want to have happen by acting on your excitement, if you understand that those things are actually very often limitations on what could happen, you'll start to drop those expectations and insistences. So let's say, to use your example, yes?
Yes?
You're sitting at your slot machine, you're very excited to be there, but you have this insistence that your excitement will not be fulfilled unless money comes out. But insisting on that may have actually pinned you to that machine longer than you needed to be, because you wouldn't necessarily have gotten up by following your true excitement and your instincts and gone to another casino where suddenly another machine that you sit at gives you the jackpot. But it may not come from that machine, or it may come some other way entirely, or somebody may give you something else entirely that will fulfill and reflect that excitement. So when you have no insistence on how it has to manifest, then you'll follow that thread. When it actually occurs, you won't fixate yourself on something that may actually prevent you from experiencing something far grander than you could imagine by sitting at that one spot. Does this help?
It helps a lot. It
All
helps
right.
a lot. Yeah, that's what I want to be able to do. To
Then
let
by
that
all
go.
means
I'm
do so.
doing it. Yeah, I'm doing it. Okay, I have another question.
Do you?
When you
Go ahead, pull the handle, we'll see what happens.
There's a show where when they pull the handle, the chair goes back and they dump the person backwards. So when you said that, that was so funny. Okay. When you mentioned Interstellar Alliance,
Yes.
I got in my imagination, I was picturing a council.
Yes.
And then I was thinking, is it like that bar in Star Wars? Are there like dolphin people that are in tanks of water?
Well,
Are
in
there
a sense, yes, there are many different cultures and many different civilizations, many of which are unlike you. And it is, let's just say, sort of like that, but certainly not absolutely like that.
But it's that diverse.
Oh, absolutely. All of the beings that actually have what you would consider to be, well, not all of them, but most of the ones that you are familiar with at all in your stories that have a humanoid appearance, have that appearance because you're genetically related. Most species out here in the galaxy look nothing like you at all.
Really?
But you are dealing with the ones that are similar enough so that you won't, how do you say it, get freaked out?
Right. But
Then they will gradually acclimate you to the fact that there are races that you couldn't even comprehend out here.
yeah. And are in all of our nature, like the insects and creatures,
Yes.
are those like representations here of other whole species?
Sometimes similarness can be experienced, although it may not be absolutely identical. But you are seeing templates for many of the things that do exist out here, although they won't be necessarily identical to what you see on your planet, because that's your version of the template.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Yes, it does. And like in...
Your chair's going backwards now.
Really? Oh my God. Okay.
Please take your seat.
Okay, bye. Thank you so much.
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
Thank you. Just to tag on really quick off of her last question on highest joy and excitement, I want to talk a little bit about like self-hatred and self-love, because I've heard from another channeler that if you're in like a state of self-hatred, that your highest joy and excitement can be something that's destructive and detrimental to you.
No. Watch your contradictory definitions. Self-hatred is not an expression of excitement, but someone can create the idea that it is. But that is not an accurate representation of the vibration of excitement. Remember that the idea of self-hatred, by definition, mechanically, is a negative energy. You follow me? Mm-hmm. It's segregative, separative, disconnective in its experience.
Okay.
The idea of excitement is a positive mechanical energy, which means it's connective, integrative, and expansive. Therefore, saying, well, it is my highest excitement to hate myself is a complete contradiction of energy and terms.
Well,
but you can create the experience as if it seems to be your higher excitement, but the only reason that would be done is because you are glossing it over so that you won't have to look at why you hate yourself. Therefore, it's simply based on fear that you're saying it's your excitement, so you don't have to look deeper and find out why you would hate yourself. Do you understand?
Yeah, so my question comes to, this is a kind of a personal question, but
Yes, it is.
I feel very stuck in my life right now.
Oh, all right. How exciting. That means you're at a crossroads and can go anywhere. That's another way to look at it. You understand? Because by saying I feel stuck, the only reason you feel stuck is because you have definitions that create that sensation. There is no such thing as an inherently difficult situation. No such thing. Only your beliefs and definitions allow you to experience it that way. Okay. So the paradox and the power in the paradox is an understanding that if you feel stuck, the only reason you can actually have an experience of feeling stuck is that you're actually not stuck. Because you have to be connected, you have to be flowing, you have to be moving and creating in order to create an experience of feeling that you're not. That's the paradox. You can never be disconnected. You have to be connected in order to create an experience of being disconnected. That's the paradox. Okay. You're always in control, and if you feel out of control, it's because you're controlling that. That's the paradox. You cannot be out of control. You cannot be disconnected. You can't actually be stuck, not literally, but you can create experiences as if you are. But if you understand how existence is structured, as soon as you understand that you can't actually be stuck, then you can reveal to yourself that it's just an experience you're creating with the energy of your being that is not stuck.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, and yes, it does. But the experience that I'm in right now,
Yes.
and what I'm trying to recreate or get out of is I've had problems with drug addiction.
Oh, all right.
For years now.
How exciting for you.
Yeah. Well.
And what have you learned? What have you learned? Is this something you prefer?
No.
Oh, all
it's
right.
Not.
All right.
It ruins my life. I
All right.
get
But-
sober and build my life
But you
back
can
up.
learn something from this, yes?
Yeah.
And in learning something from this, will it improve your life?
Well, yeah, totally. If
Well,
I can
then
get
you
through
are
it.
learning from it, and that means you are turning the negative into a positive. Therefore, it's not a waste. That's the first idea. It's not a waste. You're learning something from it. You are strong enough to have chosen to go through that and come out of it. That's the first thing we see. Yes?
Yeah.
An experience of strength. I can go into the depths of darkness, the depths of the experience of disconnection, the depths of the experience of being out of control, that this completely controls my life, and yet I can still have excitement that says, I desire, I prefer something else, because I know I am powerful enough to transform this. That's the first thing we hear. Is that the first thing you hear?
Yes.
All right.
Now,
Yes.
when getting off, because I've gotten into a situation again where I've gotten my physical body dependent on substances that I have
all right.
to withdraw from, that's very painful.
Exciting, yes. You
I
understand.
don't know how to face, like...
One moment.
Okay.
One moment. You understand that the idea of addiction is locking on to something that's a permission slip that allows you to feel either more powerful than you believe you are, or allows you not to feel the fear of not feeling powerful. So it's either dampening the fear so you don't feel it, or it's giving you a false sense of self-empowerment. That's why addictions happen. Because you have a deep-seated belief that you are not powerful, not connected, not loved. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's where that starts.
Yes.
And in not necessarily having the tools to know how to transform that because of being brought up in the society that you are brought up and not being taught those tools, you still know, you still have the urge to fill what feels like emptiness. Because you can sense that there is a sense of emptiness there. The idea that you don't believe you are self-empowered or connected to source is translated in your reality as a sense of emptiness. And you attempt to fill it. But the only things you've been taught you can fill it with are not the actual things that fill it. These are just ideas and symbols that you've been taught can fill it, but as I just described, they give you a false sense of security.
Right. And
Because there's only glossing over the deep-seated issue, which is the belief in your lack of worth.
Right. And
But you are worthy. You are worthy. Trust me, if you were not worthy, you would not exist, because creation doesn't make mistakes. Not one. And if you exist, you belong.
Yeah.
Without you, all that is would not be all that is. You are necessary in order for it to experience itself through your perspective, and that allows it to be all that it is. So the fact that you exist, just that, is proof of your worth. So when you have been taught that you're not worthy, that you're not deserving, that you're not loved, and you keep reinforcing that, you keep buying into it, what you're doing, in essence, if you can picture this, is you're arguing with creation. Saying, I don't exist. Not really. You will never win that argument. Ever. Because you cannot cease to exist. Existence is the fundamental state. You just are. Now, you may change your form in any number of infinite ways, but your perspective will always be your perspective, and anything you change into will always seem to be happening to you. Because the perspective is what you are of all that is. Your unique point of view, your unique experience, your unique understanding of yourself. So fundamentally, just by your existence, you are worthy. So I would simply strongly recommend that you stop arguing with creation, because you will never win that.
Okay.
So, step one, you have a fundamental worth, a fundamental value just by the fact that you exist. You can begin there and build up from there. You understand?
Yes.
Then you can start looking at what the beliefs are. Once you have that foundation, once you know that you cannot cease to exist, you are now creating what we call the indestructible core of your being. It's already there, but you're becoming aware of it. By starting there and knowing that your existence proves your worth, you are now becoming aware of the fact that you are literally, as a point of view, as a unique perspective, indestructible. That which exists cannot become non-existent. Why? Because by definition, non-existence doesn't exist. Think about it. Non-existence doesn't exist. Existence exists. Non-existence doesn't exist. So that which exists can never become that which doesn't exist. We sometimes put it in a kind of fun, poetic way by saying, well, that which exists can't become non-existent because all the things that will never exist already fill non-existence up, and there's no more room in non-existence for the things that do exist. It's full of all the things that don't exist. Does that make more sense to you?
Yes.
All right. So, once you establish your indestructible core, you will always be. You will always be. Now you know that it's okay to start digging down and finding out what those fear-based beliefs are, because you know that no matter how deeply you dig, no matter how frightening it may be to explore and discover what those beliefs are, you will never, ever, ever be annihilated by doing so. You can never stop existing. Ever. So dig away, find out what they are, and remember, they are just beliefs. They are not facts. It is not a fact that you are unworthy. It's just something you've been taught to believe is true. It's not a fact. So if creation is willing to support you utterly in your belief that you're not worthy, why would it care if you start believing that you are? It will still support you all the same. It doesn't care what you choose to believe, because that's been left up to you. Totally up to you. It's in your hands to decide what is true for you. So if you suddenly say, you know, I'm really tired of believing that I'm not worthy. I'm really tired of creating this sense of stuckness and this idea of being out of control. I'm really tired of using permission slips as a crutch because I don't believe I'm self-empowered enough to attract what I need when I need it. This is all just negative beliefs. They're just opinions. They're not empirical facts of nature. They're just ideas that you've bought into. That's all they are, because that's all physical reality is. Physical reality isn't real. It's just a reflective mirror of what you believe to be true. That's all.
So, and I understand that, and I've studied a lot about beliefs, and basically that things are neutral and our beliefs are what give them.
Yes.
So, for me,
yes,
could you give me some instructions on maybe like I'm basically asking like a way like to get, I'm ready to get off and take the jumping point and get off of everything that I'm on and go through the withdrawal, which is going to be very painful.
Does it have to be?
That's what I'm wondering.
Does it have to be?
Well,
no, it doesn't. So why don't you assume there is another way to experience that process and let the synchronicity in your life attract to you the information you need to take you through that process in the most effortless possible way? Why assume it has to be painful? Just because you've gone through it before doesn't mean that the new you has to experience that, does it?
No.
Then there you go. Do you understand that you are a new person every moment?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, if you understand that you really are a new person every single moment, then don't you understand the implications of what that means?
Yes, I do.
Are you sure? Explain it to us.
Okay, so what
Right
that
now.
means is that like we're constantly like shifting like realities and
And what does that imply?
and that implies that like we're constantly changing.
And what does that imply?
That I can create any experience that I want.
And what does that imply if you are a new person? What does that imply?
That I'm not that I can be who I want to be, like
If you are a new person in a
Yes.
new reality, doesn't that imply that you, the new you, has a different history than the other person that was there a moment ago?
yes.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
If you can, I'm not saying this is the way you will do it, but if you understand this, truly understand it, you will understand that if you really are a new person, you actually have a different history. That doesn't mean that you have stopped using the addictive substances. It means you never did.
Right.
And that's why there's no longer any urge, and that's why there's no longer any withdrawal, because you've never been addicted as the new person.
And you talk about it as like the 13th step.
That's the 13th step of transformation. Now, I understand that it may be a little challenging for many of you to really wrap your mind around this and use it, so I'm not saying that it has to be done this way. But what can be done is you can attract to yourself through synchronicity the idea of going through whatever process you believe you need to go through in the most effortless and joyful way you can. There is always an option for that. So don't assume, is all we're saying. Never assume or insist that it has to be one way just because you think you experienced it that way before. Before has nothing to do with now. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Unless you make the continuity link. And this is where breaking continuity comes in.
Okay.
Before is its own reality, and it's another person. It's literally another person. If you really aren't that person, and it's not even about, I'm not that person anymore. No, you never have been. Ever. You're a different person. Do you understand?
Yes.
So this is a description of what it would be like if you truly make this true for yourself. If you don't, right away, and you go through another process, that's fine. All we're saying is the process you go through doesn't have to be painful. You know that somewhere in your reality, somewhere in your makeup, here and now, is what you need to have whatever process will work for you in the most effortless and joyful way. So why not just assume that you can attract that instead?
Okay. Could you provide me with the process?
You're going to do it yourself. Because you are a self-empowered person, aren't you?
Yes.
Then you're going to do it.
Okay.
And I have already helped you to the degree I am allowed. Okay. Now your higher mind is saying, that's enough. I'll take it from here. Okay. Yes?
Yes.
All right. So follow your excitement, your true excitement. Don't fool yourself into labeling things that are not your excitement as excitement. And conversely, don't label things that really are your excitement as things to be afraid of.
Okay.
You understand? Mm-hmm. You have to be honest within yourself about the fact that you have these beliefs and really investigate them, but at the same time know that they're just smoke and mirrors. And in fact, one of the great tricks of negative beliefs, because they don't want you to change them, that's how they're designed. They want you to perpetuate them. They want you to hold on to them. One of the greatest tricks is to make you as afraid to change them as possible.
Right.
Therefore, the more fear you experience when you attempt to change them, the closer you are to changing them, because they're trying harder to get you not to by making you more afraid. So the more frightened you are, that tells you, I must be close to letting this go. So, negative belief, I have found you out. I have found your trick. You are just making me feel like if I let you go, things will collapse around me. But now I know that's just smoke and mirrors.
Okay.
Game over. You understand?
Yeah.
So relax into yourself. Let these things be absorbed within you. And please remember what we said before. You are never without assistance. All right?
All right.
You're never alone.
All right.
So thank you.
Thank you very much.